Welcome to Bus Driver Life. My name is Kiwan. In this episode, I'm going to do a reaction to a popular school bus driver, YouTuber, and TikToker. His name is Clawboss. I just came across his videos on TikTok about a month ago, and he puts out some really interesting content about driving a school bus. Keep in mind, even though I am a transit bus driver right now, I used to drive school buses. I drove school buses for almost 10 years. So I'm going to react to some of his videos. I'm going to let you know what I think. I'm going to give you my reaction and my response. I think he has to be like the most popular content creator that's a bus driver. He has almost 600,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I believe he has like over 1 million followers on TikTok. So let's react to the Clawboss, okay? Okay. All right, let's watch and react to our first Clawboss TikTok video.
These two in the back. These two in the back. You two. Get your stuff. You're coming with me.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you right now, it is just as scary for the bus driver when the goddamn principal or the goddamn guidance counselor or administrator or anybody comes on the bus. It is just as scary for the bus driver. Because the bus driver would just be sitting there chilling, looking at his phone, on TikTok or whatever, maybe on the phone with their girlfriend or their wife or whatever, and all of a sudden, you see the principal walk up to your bus and you're like, oh shit, what did I do now? With a bus full of kids, it's not as awkward because you know they're coming to look for a kid. But I'm going to tell you right now, if I'm sitting on the bus empty and I'm at the school and they start walking towards my bus, I'm like, oh, nope, I ain't the bus driver today. Nope. But the funny thing is I haven't had to deal with that for a while because the kids that I drive on my bus, they're angels. They don't give me a peep. I have no problems where I need to tell the school anything. I haven't had to write a kid up in 4 years. I mean, you could call me blessed. I love the school district I drive for.
So a couple of things about that. I remember those days when the guidance counselors or the staff administrator, whoever, will get on the bus and pull students out, and they always have some keys and some papers. They always seem like they're in a rush to get somewhere, which they probably are. I'd imagine the job can be extremely hectic. I also remember that there are certain schools where you would never see any sort of staff from the school get on the bus to grab anyone off the bus, no matter what. It's almost like when the kids would get out of school, they'd be like, they're all yours now. We're not doing anything. So basically what I'm saying, some schools were very much involved, and I appreciated those schools because if the kids were being disruptive or doing something inappropriate on the bus, they knew that they would face some sort of consequences. The school would like expel some kids off the bus, meaning they couldn't ride anymore at all. Some kids would get suspensions. And then you had other schools where no matter how many times you would write up a problem student on the bus, it's almost like they would just throw those write-ups away or just completely ignore them. Or both. But anyway, some schools were involved, some weren't. Also, that is true. When you see one of the staff members walking to your bus, you know it's going to be something interesting. It may not be bad, but just might be some new policy or something they don't like that the school bus drivers are doing. So they're pretty much going to, in a professional manner, fuss at you like, hey, we need all the buses to pull up 3 feet past this particular spot from now on because we don't need such and such and such to happen. So you just never know. Dealing with the schools can be good or bad. It's one of the things that I don't really miss from my school bus driver days. Let's move on to the next Clawboss TikTok.
Yo, why are we stopped though? Can't we just go?
That's one of the reasons why I hate being a bus driver. Let me put this in perspective. This bus driver pulled over because the kids were throwing shit in the back of the bus. This is from a bus driver's point of view. If you're throwing shit on my bus, I'm gonna pull over. Have I done that before? Hell yeah. Have I written kids up for throwing shit? Hell yeah. Because if you're throwing shit on my bus, not only are you littering my bus, which I don't feel like sweeping up your shit, you could hit me while I'm driving and cause me to cause an accident. Then your mama's gonna be down here yelling at me, telling me that I'm a reckless driver. If you throw something and hit another kid in the face and poke his eye out, now his mama's gonna be down here wondering why her kid is getting hit in the face and the bus driver ain't doing shit about it. I don't give a fuck if you have somewhere to be, like this kid says. I got somewhere to be too, but I get paid by the hour, so I'll sit on the side of the road all day. I don't care. I haven't had to pull over or write kids up in a long time because I have well-behaved kids on my bus. Kids that are out of control? Nah, I don't play that game. I go from nice bus driver to dickhead real quick.
And yeah, those are facts. It's always a hazard when you have kids throwing stuff around the bus. But I'm gonna take myself back to my childhood. When you're a kid and you're riding the bus, let's be honest, it's hilarious when you throw something on the bus. It's so funny. I don't know why, but as a kid, it's funny. And it's even funnier when you throw something at the bus driver and hit the bus driver in the head while they're driving the bus. However, one thing you may not realize as a child is how extremely dangerous that is. You're actually putting your own life in danger. Dangerous and danger, yeah. And you cannot get upset at your bus driver, even as a kid. If kids are throwing stuff on the bus, you know when kids are throwing stuff. And you know why the bus driver pulled over. It's not safe for a bus driver to try and navigate traffic with a vehicle that large while they're having objects thrown at them.
You ain't lying.
See, what some of the kids do is they'll be perfect little angels while we're sitting at the school, boarding kids at the school before we pull off to take them home. Then once you pull away from that school, then they start acting crazy. And then you think you get some justice when you report it to their parent, but their parents are just as wild and they don't care that their kid was being wild. And you're like, well, that's where they got it from right there.
This has got to be the dopiest, dumbest fucking driver I've ever seen in my life. But then again, it is a minibus driver, so am I surprised? No. Minibus drivers are some of the worst school bus drivers there are out there, and I'll tell you why. Half these people are terrified to drive a big bus, so they settle for a little bus. They shouldn't even be behind the wheel of a little bus. They are just the worst drivers I've ever seen. There is one woman I drive with that she is literally the worst driver, and we have complained about her multiple times, and she keeps driving. They don't do anything about these drivers. They're just the worst drivers. Half the time, they're elderly people that have nothing better to do with their lives. They shouldn't be driving a school bus. Hell, they shouldn't even be driving a car. This driver should lose their license for the rest of their life. They should not be allowed to drive a school bus. They should not be allowed to drive any motor vehicle at all.
Whoa, Clawboss, you went in on that driver. Wow, that was a stupid maneuver. Why would that driver do that? That's crazy. I will say, I don't like the cutaway vans, the small buses. I had to drive them my very first year of being a school bus driver, and it was because of seniority. By the time I got through training, there were no more big bus routes available, so I had to take a small bus route, and I did not like it because I didn't sign up for that. I was training for like 2 or 3 weeks on the big bus, and then I have to go down to the small bus. It's like I want to whip the big bus around, not the little bus. And I have to drive the little bus for almost a whole school year. And then the following school year, I finally got a big bus route. And it's like, man, I haven't driven a big bus in a year. But he is correct. There are some people who choose to drive the small buses because they don't prefer to drive the bigger buses. Some people are actually terrified. And I'm like, how did you even get through training if you're terrified to drive this vehicle? All right, let's take a look at this TikTok called Day in the Life of a School Bus Driver.
Walk along the bus and look for damage. Make sure there's no damage on the side of the bus. Make sure all your lights are working. Every single light. Come back here, check these tires, check the lugs, check the hub, check the tread, make sure the tires are good. Come back here, open up the fuel door, make sure it's tight. Should be tight, as long as nobody touched it. That's what you're checking for. Come around the back of the bus. All your lights are gonna be on. I'll show you guys that in a minute, but you're gonna check all your lights, make sure they all work. Make sure your emergency door works. Make sure those lights come on. You're gonna check underneath the bus. Make sure there's nothing hanging. Make sure nothing's leaking. Make sure you're good in the back. You're gonna come around to the side. Do the same thing on this side. Check the entire length of the bus. Make sure there's no dents, no dings, nothing, especially if you're driving someone else's bus. Come over this.
Yeah, overall, that's the same type of stuff that we check on transit buses as well. 2 different buses that serve 2 different purposes, but they have a lot of the same equipment on them. Lights, tires, windows.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
This is 100% an accurate representation of how school buses drive. If you guys sit in the back, you guys know how you hop around, but if you're the driver and you don't have a bouncy seat, your ass is gonna hurt on them bumpy roads. Let me tell you.
Very true. It can be a bumpy ride on a school bus, and people make jokes about it, but I don't appreciate the jokes because we can't help it, okay?
Hey, welcome to the bus. What's your name? Timmy? Nice to meet you, Timmy. I'm Mr. Joe. I'm your bus driver. When I picked you up this morning, I noticed your mom was she was very like friendly. Do you have a dad? You don't. Is your mom single or is she seeing anybody? She's single? Cool. Okay, so I think your mom's cute. She's actually really hot, to be honest. Would you mind if I like maybe talk to your mom a little more, like got to know her? Is that okay? Really? I can? Okay, cool. Tell you what, tell your mom to come to the bus tomorrow. I'll give her my number and we can talk more. Okay? Maybe we'll hang out with your mom. All right, is that cool? All right, thanks, kid. You're a cool kid. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I'll hang out with your mom. Oh, yeah. I know this was just a joke, but I would never ask a kid about their hot mom. But I'm going to be honest with you, okay? When I was a school bus driver, some of the moms were very attractive.
You ain't lying. Things you shouldn't do in a school bus, part 1. Don't throw your trash on the floor, please. Because if you guys throw your trash on the floor, somebody has to clean it. And that somebody is me. That's also why this rule comes into play. Absolutely no food or beverages allowed. You don't know who might have a food allergy or who doesn't. So please don't eat on the bus. It's a safety concern and also common courtesy. I really don't want to clean up after you. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.
Yeah, that's definitely something I don't miss from driving a school bus. We were responsible for cleaning out our buses. We had a broom. Yeah, we were equipped with one broom pretty much. And there was a trash can. And you had to sweep your bus out. Some people would get in trouble. They'd get write-ups because they would not sweep their bus for like weeks at a time. Because when I drove a school bus, we would generally get the same bus every day. Unless your bus had a maintenance issue, then you wouldn't have it for a few days. But overall, you get the same bus every day. And you were responsible for keeping it clean on the inside. No matter how clean you would get your bus, those kids would tear it up by the end of the day. There's so many candy wrappers and soda cans and juice bottles, articles of clothing, shoes sometimes. It was horrible. Now that I drive a transit bus, they clean the buses overnight, inside and out. However, I mean, if someone makes a bit of a mess on the bus throughout the day, you may pick things up here or there, but there's no broom where we have to sweep our bus out or anything. We just park our buses in the garage, and then there's a staff that works third shift overnight, and they clean all the buses. So yeah, I like all the Clawboss TikToks. I've been binge watching his content, and it kind of took me, well, not kind of, but it definitely took me on a memory lane, remembering my days as a school bus driver. I did it for almost 10 years. I think I drove school buses for longer than I've driven transit buses so far. Or maybe it kind of balances itself out, because school bus driver, I would be off during the summer as a school bus driver, and I would just work when school was in session. And sometimes I pick up some work during the summer if there was like summer camp and things of that nature. Another thing I liked about being a school bus driver is I had what's called home bus.
Excuse me?
What is home bus, you ask?
Yes.
Well, home bus is basically you get to keep your bus with you all day. So once I climbed up the ranks of seniority at the very first school bus company I worked for in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, I got home bus. I had a morning shift. I also had a midday route. Then of course I had the evening or afternoon route. So I would pick kids up for school. Then I get to take my bus home for like 3 or 4 hours. And then around noon, I would have to go out to do my midday route, which is the kids that would do school maybe half day, like the K4 students or preschool students. They would have a half day a lot of times. And then maybe an hour after I was done with that, I would start my afternoon run where I would pick kids up from 2 different schools in the evening. So I would pick kids up at like a 2:45, like certain schools would get off at 2:45. I would pick them up, take them home. Then I had to be at another school like around 3:45 to pick them up and take them home. And I was generally done around 5:30, no later than 6. And I would get to keep my bus with me all day. Of course, you take it back at night. You don't take your bus home overnight.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
So if you enjoyed the Clawboss TikToks, go ahead and follow him on TikTok and follow his YouTube channel or subscribe to his YouTube channel. And if you enjoyed my reaction, hopefully I've earned your subscription. And if you enjoyed this video overall, give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching Bus Driver Life.